Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? Hey, thanks, Christopher Mashburn. All right. Anyways, we had a hearing today. It's kind of weird because I found the spot where you can watch them on their website, but it said that it was in person, but then you saw these different outlets that had the... Well, so here's something that's funny. You know the judge, what's his name? Like, I forgot his name. But he had like about 10 more hearings after that, you know, different cases, not 10, but, you know, let's just say 6 or 7 more. And so there was the next one down that had his video on it. So I clicked on it, and then I joined it, you know, so I could watch it. And then that judge, you know, he goes, hey, there's somebody, and then there was, and all it was the judge and an attorney and me. And so the judge goes, who's this Grant Hughes guy that's here? And I was like silent and no video and anything. So then I clicked on the, you know, like I got my mic working. And I go, oh, you know, I just was trying to see how this thing worked. Sorry about that. And he laughed a little bit, and then I just got the hell out of there. But I thought I was just going to be watching it. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, I put out a video today and it had 700 views, and I deleted it because I can't afford to have videos do so poorly. All right. But anyways, the very same judge that's talking to Tyler Robinson was actually said, hey, there's a Grant Hughes in here. Are you there? It's like, why are you talking to me? For God's sakes. Of course, I uploaded my video right when Candace did one of her lives. Nobody in the world, nobody's going to see my my video. But yes, you guys, we're doing another show, and here we go with another slow start. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, this is our last normal night until tomorrow, which is our donation night. All right, so if you have the ability to help support the channel, we used to always have like a bunch of people starting off the show, and then we'd already got some momentum going. But we don't have that too much anymore. Not sure why. Yeah, well, I wish she would quit doing them. She just sucks the oxygen out of the room with absolute garbage. You know? Except you wouldn't know it if you read the comments. You'd think that it was the best information that has ever been put out there. It's stupid. Now she's claiming that the parents are saying that's not him in the surveillance footage. Exactly the opposite. of how it all came down. And she's claiming the whole story is different. That, oh, yeah, the parents never said anything, and blah, 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 blah. It's just so ludicrous, okay? Thank you, Vicky White. Anyways, that's the judge right there. He's like, hey, who's this Grant Hughes guy? I was like, you know how it says Utah County Jail? I was one of the, like, it was the judge, an attorney, and I was this thing. I gotta admit, like, that was pretty weird. And then I called over there later to go, did I do this wrong? And they go, no, you have the right to be there. He was just wondering who you were. And I was like, oh, I just gotta get the hell out of there. Yeah. I used to love Candace Owens, though. I don't even know if she can recover from this, because it's just, you'll always think of her as a conspiracy nutter. But what do you guys think? What should we listen to? It's only 23 minutes long. We can listen to the very first hearing, and then have it lead into today's hearing, and then we'll have everything caught up. What do you guys think of that? And then write down, type down anything that you think is interesting out of any one of these. All right?
Good afternoon. My name
Plus, I fixed the audio so you can hear me.
is Judge Graff. I will be handling the first appearance calendar today. At the conclusion of...
By the way, he was a lot different in that little short thing that I had. Like, he was sort of funny, like, laughed a little bit. He didn't even sound the same. It was weird. I mean, he didn't talk as deliberately.
At the conclusion of the hearing for the first case, the court will take a recess and remind all those who are scheduled for the first appearance calendar to log back in 15 minutes after the court has taken a recess. As a general note, no electronic usage is allowed unless pre-approved. Any disruptions will be removed. To the jail, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're
like
probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance.
Hey, hold on. Let me get that case number.
Calling case 251-403.
All right. Case number 254 something. 0, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus
One more
Tyler
time. I think I
James
wrote it down. I
Robinson.
just want to make sure I got it right.
Calling case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson.
Okay, I got it.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here,
He
Mr.
didn't
Robinson.
sound like that
I'm
in that
Judge
short
Graff. Mr. Scortis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Scortis. I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
for indigency, but that is my intent, Mr.
And by the way, you guys, if you want to help support the channel, even during these, whenever I play this stuff, it just dies down dramatically, but we can't have that getting this close to the end of the month. So even when this is playing, it's okay. It doesn't make any sound.
Mr. Scortis.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8
just
qualified
reading
attorney
everything.
to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined,
No, it's not the hearing.
and they're listed as attendees.
As I said a minute ago, we're going to play the two in a row. It's only 25 minutes long to hear both in a row. Okay, so it'd be good just to sort of hear this and then go right into the next today's.
Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case.
Thanks, Wild.
I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
That's not there.
Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing the...
Why did it stop playing? Uh-oh. Anytime you get the thing when it sort of stops like that, this Adobe Premiere is very what do you call it? Just unstable. It's crazy. Looks like it's like yeah. See, there you go. Let's see. It's gonna have this error message here in a second. It's crazy. It's always like that. Doesn't matter what year, you know. Hey, thanks, Vicky White. And Julie Ann and Lynn, Lisa Lynn and Wild Bill Wassman and Nate Campbell. Okay, it's shut down, so let me open it back up again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try to look at the images, all the images that we've seen, or, you know, a lot of the images we've seen, and see what the hell Candace Owens is talking about. See right there, it says reopen. All right, I think we were about like right in here.
Sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
So the protective order was for Erica Kirk, not Tyler Robinson.
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
Who's Eric Koberger? It's Brian.
Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony, in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony. Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages. Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3a little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code Annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing, and I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Gurander, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
All right.
This one's today.
Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in session.
I don't know about you, but I thought that was hilarious. Does he look like he's in a good mood when he hits that gavel? It just looked like he just goes, screw this. Wait, watch this.
Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in session.
That's freaking hilarious, man. Yeah, he's just like, I mean, it's like, hey, let's do that again. Let's do that again.
Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in
I gotta take a crap.
session.
God, I gotta do this case again, you freaking. I don't know. One more time.
Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in session.
Oh man, that's amazing. Ah,
Calling the case 251-403-576, State of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson. Counsel, could you enter your appearances, please?
Chad Grunander, Jeff Gray, Lauren Hunt, Ryan McBride, and Chris Ballard for the state, Your Honor.
Good morning, counsels.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kathy Nestor, Michael Burt, and Richard Novak on behalf of Mr. Robinson.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
And to the jail, do we have Mr. Robinson present?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Robinson, good morning to you as well. Counsel, as we begin, I have entered orders allowing the admittance of Mr. Michael Burt, Mr. Richard Novak, pro hoc vice, and appointing them along with Ms. Catherine Nestor to be Mr. Robinson's counsel. The court enters findings that the combined...
Hey, thanks, CR. Look at that. 5 gifted memberships. There we go. Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. Fort the Mom, whatever the hell that was. EI Rule, I remember you from a long time ago. Johnny Ringo. Beekeeping Roots, and Eden Fox.
Experience of counsel meets and exceeds the requirements of Rule 8. Counsel, do we have, what would we like to accomplish today?
I have 2 items, Judge. I just wanted to make a record that under Rule 16 of the Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure with respect to discovery, the state is required to provide to the defense within 5 days of the defense's request the discovery that we relied on in making this charging decision. We'll be prepared to do that, so we'll look for defense counsel's request or the next day or so, and we'll provide that to the defense.
Thank you.
We also, for the court's information, we met this morning with the defense team briefly in our office to talk about discovery and the process, so we'll be working together. There is a substantial amount of discovery in this case, Your Honor. It's voluminous, to say the least, and we're working on a process where we can exchange information as quickly as possible and be efficient in that process. The other item I had, Your Honor, I saw that over the weekend there was a protection order, pretrial, and trial publicity order entered by Your Honor. And I just was seeking some clarification. On page 2, at the end of the first paragraph, it reads, "To that end, lawyers participating in the investigation or litigation of this case shall inform all witnesses, investigators, consultants, staff members, or other members of the prosecution or defense teams that the prohibitions..."
Like this already is an open and shut case. When his attorney, see, they're acting very similar to Ann Taylor. You know, there's a lot of voluminous data here. It's going to take a while to get through this. It's going to take a while for us to see what's on it. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, well, just look at it. Okay, the video is going to tell you the story, and then you'll have to try to maybe start advising your client. You're not going to find any outs or any sort of little glitches and things that you can work with, like the nut jobs that are out there on YouTube, pretending that they can see things that the investigators haven't seen yet. Right?
Contained about the prohibitions contained in this order.
Although I have done that on my channel and actually literally done that. Found stuff that they hadn't seen yet. Isn't that amazing?
The state, we're seeking some clarification with respect to the phrase "all witnesses," Your Honor. There are a number of witnesses that have yet to be identified that will likely be used in the state's case. This occurred in front of 2,000 to 3,000 students at Utah Valley University. So we're in the process of identifying those witnesses, and so those individuals are presently unknown right now. So we're looking for a little clarification from the court. And I suppose we're not going to make any arguments today, but there may be some follow-up pleadings that we may need to file.
Thank you. Ms. Nestor, did you want to be heard about that issue?
No, Your Honor, we would defer to whatever the court wants to advise them on that matter. I think it's fairly obvious that we don't know who all the witnesses are in this case yet. I think it's just important that if anyone is identified that they have information about this order. So I think other than that, we wouldn't weigh in on any other matter.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that question. That's an important one. The court will rule that as the witnesses become known to each side, that information is conveyed to abide by this order. Obviously, there are potentially many witnesses, and so it's not the expectation that you would be able to do that up front, but as they become known, I would ask that you would inform them of this. Anything else, counsel?
Hey, Angelina.
Nothing from the state, nothing else, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Nestor.
Thank you, Your Honor. We recognize that we are here today for a waiver hearing. It is not our intent to waive a preliminary hearing in this matter. We are going to be seeking that one be set. However, based largely on what the state just referred to as far as the voluminous nature of the discovery materials, we do think it would be prudent to simply reset for another conference, another waiver hearing, a little bit down the road, where we have a better idea once we start seeing the discovery as it rolls in. I do recognize we're going to be getting that first batch in 5 days, but it's my understanding from our meeting today that there is massive amounts of digital that is going to be coming, and until we can kind of get our heads around exactly what we're dealing with and how much we need to process, it's going to be difficult for us to give you a reasonable expectation of when we will be ready to do the prelims. So we're asking today that we put that decision off, and maybe we could check in 30 to 60 days and just kind of let the court know where we're at and how much we're looking at and how much time we may need to set a preliminary hearing. Also,
Well, the thing is, the preliminary hearing is going to be, that will be interesting. There will be new stuff in that, in the preliminary hearing. So that's going to be on October, I think 30th. I thought that's what they said.
So as far as a detention hearing, we are not asking the court to address that issue at this time. Under the statute, the issue is going to come down to the question.
Hey, by the way, if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, we got a lot of people watching here. Our donation night is tomorrow night. And, we have every single night on the show, my channel brings in income from you guys. I do ad revenue on my videos. Live streams do not bring in any ad revenue at all, virtually. And so you guys are the sole source of the income on the live stream. So if you're watching and you like the work that I do, compared to some of these other clowns out there, I would appreciate the support. All right. And by the way, when people say these people are in good faith, I don't agree with you. I do not believe that these other people out there that are trying to sell the different gunshot angles and stuff actually believe what they're selling you. I think they are doing it intentionally, knowing that it gets the most views, etc. And I just put out information that's factual, and it might be boring to some people. But if you appreciate that, I would appreciate your support. And, maybe get some channel memberships for some of these people out here. That would be great. All right. But, my channel's given what you never hear out there. A lot of people complain that I try to get the super chats and so forth. But the thing is, they never tell you is that my channel's donated $262,000 out of the income to the channel, not like fundraisers and things like that. $262,000 since January of 2020. So that's pretty good. All right. So if you guys have the ability to, that would be amazing. But if you can't afford to support the channel or don't want to, then don't do it. But if you want to and you can afford it, that would be great. All right. Because my channel does rely on you guys during the live streams. Hey, thanks, David. Amazing channel. Keep up the hard work. So glad to help when I can. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hey, sorry to hear that, Sheila. That sucks. All right, here we go.
Of whether there's substantial evidence, which right now we're just not in a position at all to be able to even argue to the court. So we are probably going to ask that the court delay that decision possibly until the time of the prelim. But if it's sooner, we will ask the court for a hearing. But at this time, we are not asking the court to make any decisions on that matter.
Thank you, counsel. In regards to the next hearing date, how about October 30th at 10 a.m.?
You know,
That
it
works
sounds
for the
great.
state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
That's fine for the defense, Your Honor.
All right. Now, as we're at the beginning, anything further from counsel from either side?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
As we are at the beginning of this case, it is my intent to only speak when I'm needed or it is necessary. But today I do wish to provide guidance and expectations that you can have for this court and wish to enter an order as well. As this case moves forward, Mr. Robinson's constitutional rights will be protected at every stage. He sits before this court presumed innocent, and that presumption remains unless and until each element of every offense charged against him is proved beyond a reasonable doubt. At the same time, and as applicable, victims are entitled under our Constitution to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, free from harassment or abuse. Justice demands that both of these principles, the rights of the accused and the rights of victims, be honored without compromise. I remain steadfast in my oath that I made 56 days ago to support and defend the constitutions of the United States and of Utah. I will carry out my duties with fidelity, transparency, and impartiality, treating every person who appears before me with the dignity and respect they are inherently due because they are human beings. Let me be clear. I will not put my finger on the scale of justice. These proceedings will be open to the public, conducted in accordance with the law, and handled with diligence and competence to ensure that justice is never compromised. It is the standing order of this court that Mr. Robinson shall be allowed to appear in person so he can fully engage with his attorneys and participate in these legal proceedings. Counsel, regardless of who is watching, whether it is the nation or a single individual, we must fulfill our roles with integrity, civility, and diligence. I encourage each of you to give your very best to this case. Neither Mr. Robinson nor the people of Utah deserve anything less than the fair and impartial administration of justice. In regards to the next hearing, counsel, on that October 30th date at 10 a.m., it's the court's intent that it be in person if it be the wish of counsel for the defense for Mr. Robinson to be present.
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel, anything else that we can address today?
Your Honor, we appreciate the court's comments with respect to Your Honor's role in this case. In like matter, we commit to approach this case with integrity, with professionalism and civility. We are truth seekers. We will aggressively pursue the truth in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, counsel, unless there's anything else, thank you for being here. This court is in recess. Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in session.
You gotta admit, like, that is so funny. He doesn't look happy when he does that, right? God, I gotta be here again. You know? I mean, just look at that one more time.
Please be seated. Good morning. Court is now in session.
Jesus. God, I gotta do this crap again. All right, where are we? Shit. I mean, come on, everybody knows. Hey, thanks, Christine, up there. Thank you. I think it's pretty obvious, don't you think? That he's just, like, pissed off about something right there. What else is there? Let me play that again.
Please be seated.
Gotta time it better. Here we go.
Good morning. Court is now in session.
I don't know. But anyways, if you guys missed it, here's what's something that's funny. So on their website, you can go to all the different cases that he is going to be a judge at today, right? So the next one down the list had a little camera on it. So I clicked on it, and I was sitting there waiting I wanted to see what it was like to join the streams, okay? So I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden this judge right here came on, and then so did the attorney. And then the judge looked down and said, hey, we have a guy named Grant Hughes here. What are you doing? Or who are you? Or whatever. I was like, what do you mean? I was just thinking in my head, I'm just here to watch. So then I turned on the mic and I said, yeah, was clicking around, just trying to, I think I said I accidentally clicked in here or something. And then he kind of laughed, and so did the attorney, and I just got the hell out of there. And then later I called up the clerk and I asked about how this works, and she goes, you have a right to be there. You just have to say you're there to listen. Because it's a public hearing, it's like a video, it's there. But anyways, it was funny. It was just kind of weird. I mean, this judge right here is the one that was there that said, who's Grant Hughes? That was pretty funny, though. Right. All right, you guys, we're currently at like 50% of the goal tonight, so if you have the ability, that'd be great to help. Apparently, what I said a minute ago just fell on deaf ears or clanked to the ground, much like this. But I didn't say it just willy-nilly. I'm saying if you have the ability out there and you want to support a channel that actually puts out factual information, that'd be great. I put out a video earlier today during the time Candace Owens was live, and that video absolutely got crushed into the ground, and I deleted it because it was about the shadows on the roof and the whole damn thing that everybody's been asking about, and nobody watched it, and I spent hours making it, and so I deleted it, and I'll just have to try to upload it again or something like that. All right. Oh yeah, the apple. Where is that? There it is. But I think, where is that? There, right here? Yeah. I've actually taken a bite of an apple and went like a, and people go, wow, that's a great apple. And I go, can you tell that was a sound effect? Really? It is disheartening. That's why I need your guys' support again today, because there's no ad revenue coming in from a new video. All right, it's just a struggle. People like Candace Owens, money, they just make it all the time. If I made what she made, I would just be incredible how much we'd be able to give away. If I made like what she makes, I bet you I'd be able to donate like $300,000 a year. But that's not really, it just isn't what it is. I mean, look at the support on here. We can't even get Tom, Dick, and Harry to do $2 or $3 or $5 or something like that. It's just a struggle. But if you're Candace Owens and any of these other nut jobs, people send in hundreds and hundreds of dollars to sell a conspiracy theory, and the people that want to watch factual information don't get as excited. I don't know what it is. Hey, thanks, CR. There we go. Very cool. Appreciate it. All right, so let's go on to, here's an audio clip of Candace the Nutjob Owens, all right? There, where is this thing? It's, Gray, that's not cool. I think she really is looking. Bull crap, okay? All right, here we go.
The family says that the photo of the young man that is coming up the stairs, which was shared, that blurry image, is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. Neither did you. Okay,
that's not Tyler Robinson, everybody.
Narrow. Also, that person looks taller. Every time
taller.
I say, I'm like, this person.
How does he look taller?
Is taller.
How does this person here look taller than any? You can't tell how tall he is looking at that. What the hell are you talking about? I think he looks like a dwarf in this one. This guy looks like he's straight out of Lord of the Rings. He doesn't look tall at all.
Than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips. And Tyler
forget the full lips. Half his face is missing. Holy crap, man. Look at that right there, everybody. His face is smashed in. How in the hell can that even be anybody? Look at that right there. Look at it. He's only got half of a mouth. Notice on the left-hand side there. That is weird, Dre. That is weird. Well, what it is called pixelation. The next frame would look clear. That's just what you get sometimes. All right, look right over here. Oh my God, his index finger and thumb are fused together. Everybody, can you see that? It's absolutely incredible. Everybody, look at that. His index finger and thumb are fused together. In fact, right over here, it appears his left arm is absolutely missing at this point. All right, but guess what? Candace Owens is saying that Tyler Robinson's parents are saying that's not him, even though they called the police, or didn't call the police, but the wife said, hey, this looks like him. Then they called a friend that used to be an ex-law enforcement. Oh, yeah. Wow. Unreal. Let's keep listening to that.
Also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips. Tyler Robinson looks broader.
I guess right there his lips are sort of full.
Walking,
but,
right?
Who cares?
So I'm on board with that person walking up the stairs. It's not Tyler Robinson.
Okay, so she's on board with that.
Like it was intentionally blurred.
So she's already So she's already saying to everybody that she's on board with the person going up the stairs not being Tyler Robinson. So therefore, she has to believe at this point it's a conspiracy theory.
They also never gave us the footage at all because in order to blur it, they probably needed a static image.
Also,
the family believes that
in order to blur it.
And this is really interesting.
Jesus.
Tyler Robinson's apartment was staged after his arrest. Now, you will recall that I spoke to Lance's family.
Wow.
And one of the things that Lance's family said was, hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us. We've never met Tyler Robinson.
We should, have they got any other kind of music we could be playing when she's, let's see. Candace Owens, a woman whose brain faculties has left her a long time ago. Let's see. I'm just going to play.
Shared that blurry image is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. Neither did you. Okay. Face looks different. Face looks more narrow. Also, that person looks taller. Every time I say, I'm like, this person is taller than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips. And Tyler Robinson looks broader than that individual walking, right? So I'm on board with that person walking up the stairs. It's not Tyler Robinson because I feel like it was intentionally blurred. They also never gave us the footage.
The sun might have something to do with it?
In order to blur it, they probably needed a static image. Also, the family believes that, and this is really interesting, Tyler Robinson's apartment was staged after his arrest. Now, you will recall that I spoke to Lance's family. And one of the things that Lance's family said was, hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us. We've never met Tyler Robinson. But I can tell you that it seems like they were trying to hide the fact that this apartment got raided. And it's very strange that they immediately cleared Lance as a suspect. And I was told by other people in the department that they wanted to keep that raid very hush-hush. They didn't want anybody to know about the raid. There was no mention of this raid. And Lance immediately gets cleared as a suspect. Why?
How about this one?
According to Tyler's family, they went to that apartment after his arrest, and they felt the apartment was staged, and that intentionally in Tyler's room, a furry bed was placed, almost sort of implying transfer the attributes of Lance onto Tyler. And that's shady. But again, when I put together what I'm being told by Lance's family and what I'm hearing from the Robinson family through a third party, I will say that it matches. It kind of seems like they're agreeing. One family's going, "Hey, Lance is kind of evil. Why is he getting cleared?" The other one's going, "Tyler's not this guy.
I think this is better. Hold on.
Tyler is not this guy. So what the hell is going on?
Hold on.
And one of the things that Lance's family said was, "Hey, we own that apartment. They pay rent to us. We've never met Tyler Robinson, but I can tell you that it seems like they were trying to hide the fact that this apartment got raided. And it's very strange that they immediately cleared Lance as a suspect. And I was told by other people in the department that they wanted to keep that raid very hush-hush. They didn't want anybody to know about the raid. There's no mention of this raid, and Lance immediately gets cleared as a suspect. Why? Well, according to Tyler's family, they went to that apartment after his arrest, and they felt the apartment was staged, and that intentionally in Tyler's room, a furry bed was placed, almost sort of implying that they're trying to transfer the attributes of Lance onto Tyler.
Attributes.
And that's shady. But again, when I put together what I'm being told by Lance's family and what I'm hearing from the Robinson family through a third party, I will say that it matches. It kind of seems like they're agreeing. One family's going, "Hey, Lance is kind of evil. Why is he getting cleared?" The other one's going, "Tyler's not this guy. Tyler is not this guy. So what the hell is going on, guys? What is actually going on right now?" The family says that the photo of the young man that is coming up the stairs, which was shared, that blurry image, is definitively not Tyler Robinson. And let me just say, I never thought it looked like him. Neither did you. Face looks different. Face looks more narrow. Also, that person looks taller. Every time I say, I'm like, this person is taller than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson also appears to have full lips, even though this image is blurry. We're not looking for someone that got fuller lips, and Tyler Robinson looks broader than that individual walking, right? So I'm on board with that person walking up the stairs is not Tyler Robinson, because I feel like it was intentionally blurred. They also never gave us the footage at all, because in order to blur it, they probably needed a static image. Also, the family believes that, and this is really interesting, Tyler Robinson's apartment was staged after...
Oh my God, his apartment was staged. I mean, do you guys hear this? I mean, this is pure insanity, right? I mean, a movie wouldn't even put it in there. I mean, I guess the only case I've ever covered that was a movie wouldn't have made would have been Lori and Chad Daybell, okay? That was about the only one that... It was so ridiculous, the story, that a movie wouldn't have made it, but it was a real story. This isn't one of those. This is a case where the shooter is Tyler Robinson. In fact, Tyler Robinson went there. He scouted around in the early morning hours, walked around. Then he continued to scout and then probably did a dry run, I think, right around the 10 o'clock, 10:30 out, in that time frame. And then he went back and put the gun down his pants, the rifle barrel, and you see him sort of sliding the leg along as he's going in. That's exactly what you have right here in this picture. He's going up the stairs with the rifle in his legs. He goes up to the, goes up these stairs, and eventually makes his way over to the low-C building. At 12:02, enters the low-C building. Then at 12:15, reaches the roof. After spending some time in the building, he reaches the roof. On that sort of area that people can go on, that brown-colored roof. And then from there, at 12:15, he walks over and jumps over the wall at 12:17, and that's where he assembles the rifle. And you go, "Gray, that's not cool. Why are you saying he did it?" Well, let's get to that point. So then he stands up and he runs over there, meaning that now there isn't something in his legs anymore, because he's assembled the rifle. He goes over to the end of the roof there, right in that little corner. He kind of scoots over a little bit, lays down, and then fires and kills Charlie Kirk at 12:23-ish, like probably 12:23 and 15 or 20 seconds. Then he stands up and he runs off the roof, goes to the other side. He runs off the roof, but, you know, as he's dangling down, you can see that he's got a black towel covering an elongated item. He jumps down, and then he runs across the street, and he heads into the woods, and they see all of this on camera. Every single thing that I just said to you is seen on camera. And I think even including the 13 minutes of time when he went into the Losi building. So he goes into the woods, and they see that on camera because one of the officers saw a person, or assumed that the shooter was up there, went up there, and they saw where he was laying. Then they found a camera looking at that area, and lo and behold, there he is. And they've tracked backwards all the way out to the tunnel, and then found, you know, then there's even the street cameras of him walking in. So that exists out there. And then law enforcement tracked him into the woods, went into the woods, and lo and behold, they find a rifle wrapped in a black towel. And then you'd think, God, that was kind of dumb. Why would you leave it there? Well, that's what Tyler Robinson decided to do, because we actually have his text messages with his boyfriend who say that he left it there right away because he sort of needed to, because he changed his clothes in the wooded area. He also left a screwdriver on the roof, likely where he assembled the rifle, and that had his DNA on it. The rifle they found in the woods had Tyler Robinson's DNA on the trigger and all over the entire rifle and the blanket. So he changed clothes in there, back to the shorts and the maroon shirt, and then he ran out of there. And then later he tried to come back. An officer actually confronted him at some point. And he was trying to go back to gather the rifle. Now I would assume that he put back on some jeans, because after collecting it from the woods, he would have had to stuff it back down his pants again, do a similar kind of walk. I bet he had his backpack on when the officer saw him. But he wasn't able to do it. He never felt confident, and he felt alone, and he was kind of afraid. He felt weird about what he did, and he started communicating with his boyfriend Twigs, and then he drove home, you know, and the parents saw the images released by law enforcement, and they said, wow, that's our kid. And then the father even texted him about, hey, look, send me a picture of that rifle, because now they know that the rifle that was found matches the one that their kid was given. And he didn't get anything back. I mean, this is, you guys, this is the most obvious case I've ever seen. All right? It's the most obvious case I've ever seen. This guy is absolutely toast. And when they start putting all the surveillance that they have together, he has no chance of getting off on this case. Now, I know there's people out there that want him to get off because they need it to be conspiracy so they can keep going over and over and over and over and over, all kinds of different stuff. All right, but you guys, why are we having one of those other nights tonight where we're just struggling again? All right, we are currently like at 60% of the goal, and tomorrow is our donation night. So hopefully we have a good night tomorrow, but wow. Been really difficult. Seems like I have to ask too many times. Let's see. Text bell pepper as a window. I can tell what? As a widow, I can tell you, for the first year I was in shock. Yeah, I mean, if anybody's out there bashing Erica, you're an idiot. Okay, that's just all there is to it. I mean, I had a brother die when I was 20. He was 22. Took me 4 or 5 years to get back to sort of a normal, you know, just ish type. I don't think I ever got back to any sort of normalcy, you know, the normal whatever I was before. But you know, it's not, sucks. Now imagine that being your spouse or your child. It doesn't just go away. That's right, Chris Stu. He did do it. So, if you guys are out there and you have the ability to help support the channel tonight, it'd be nice to get the support on this channel. Instead of going over and watching the conspiracy channels get lit up like a Christmas tree for the entire show, because it's so much more entertaining. All right. I wonder if there's a better image of this one out there. I don't think there is, but I think this is absolutely Tyler. Let me show you these pictures that I got here. So it's kind of like digging around. You know, so we got this one right here. That one. Obviously, they're the same person because they're right after each other. See, Candace Owens doesn't do the necessary work. All she does is spend the time on the conspiracy angle. So you see this person right here. That person is the same person that is walking by in the surveillance footage by the house. You know, on the TMZ video. Yeah, what we need is 18 more channel memberships, you guys. Well, that's how far away we're at. Actually, 18, 19, 21 is what we need. All right, to get to, then I'll donate 5 myself. That's how far away we're at. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. Again, see, Allie Cake is always supporting the channel because so many other people just choose not to. But she's right there every single night, you know, always, you know, helping a little bit somehow. And I always appreciate it. It's like a moment of somebody doing something. All right. And I'm just talking about people that can. They have the close-up, just release him walking up and down, not photos. Yeah, they have, well, this is a video right here, you guys. This is a video. All of this is video. Like, you can see him walking. So you got that one. This one right here is right after that. Okay, it's right after that video, right down in the tunnel that goes underneath the road. Hey, wow, thanks, Shannon. And look at CC right there. Well, that's almost, what did I say? We need 5 more then. Or 7. 7 more channel memberships, and then I'll donate 5. And now we have 34 new gifted channel memberships. Very cool. Look at that, you guys. Can I get a boom? From Shannon and CC, and then we had some up there from CR and Allie Cake. All right, tomorrow's our big night, though. We've already given out $2,000 this month. We gave $2,000 to Turning Point on, I think, 4 different times, maybe. We gave $500. I can't remember or maybe we gave $1,000 one time, or maybe it was 4 different times, $500. I'm hoping to give another $3,000 out tomorrow. So we'll see if we can get to 5 again. That would be pretty good. All right, so there's this one. Thanks, C. Daly. And then that's when he's going up the stairs. So does anybody think that this person here is not the same person? See, the sun is directly hitting him. Look down here. See how it's dark down here below his knee? That's in the shadows. That's what it looks like in here. You see, that's why his shirt doesn't look, it is a black shirt that has some, you know, reflective sort of values in it, like a shinier, you know, whatever the hell. So the sun hits it, and there's brightness on it. Okay, but that's the same person. I mean, it has the same damn everything. The hat, the glasses, the shirt, and then right there you can even see the cell phone in his pants. See that part that sticks out right there? There you go. All right, we go to the next one. So because we already know that the first 2 is him, then this is him. So when Candace says the guy going up the stairs, is she talking about all of them? Because they are all the same person, right? This person here is this person and that person, even though this one is brightened up. And we know that's that person because if we go out to, I think I might have to open up an older, let's see. I'm going to go all the way down here to these, let's see, sequence, maybe like 52 perhaps. Is that right? Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so look at, here is the one where he's walking down this street. This is that newer footage. And there he is. Got the jeans on. The black shirt. The backpack. I think even if you can go over here, you might be able to see when he goes right between the white car there and right there. There he is right here. You can see he's got the baseball cap on, right? I mean, it's blurry, but you can just generally make it all out. And it's all obvious. I mean, look at how he's swinging the right leg forward. He's got that same sort of, look at, see that? He's swinging the right leg forward. And he's got a baseball cap. I can see the light hitting the front of it. So you see that. And then just after that, he turns left on a street. So if we were looking from the air here, for people that don't know this, it's just so clear. Right here is where we just saw him walking like this. Okay? So he walks down the street, and then he passes this little dead end here, because there's a fence there. Then he goes like this and turns left down this street, and then look at, this is the street with all the cracks on it and everything. And then right here he's picked up on the TMZ video here, and then there was another video released, and that's right here. And he walks by there. And it's the same person. See, here's the TMZ video. That's him walking right there, the first camera. See? Now look at, this is how video works. I'm just going to show you this. If I zoom in like that, what does that look like to you? It's really small. It looks like nothing, okay? But you pull it out a little bit, okay, you can make it out that it's a person walking. And you can see that he's got a hat on, even a baseball hat. Look at right there. There it is. There's the top of it. He's even got, you can even, I think, even see the glasses there. I don't know, though. But see when you zoom in how crappy it looks? This is what the conspiracy theorists live on. Hey, thanks, Anakin. Very cool. They live on this stuff, zooming in on nothing, and then they'll go like this. Hey, yeah, look at it. And they'll click on something. I don't even. I was just going to go over here and go like this. I think it's right there. No, right here. There it is. Then they go. Look at him right there. You see that? Look at. Look. Ooh. All right. Hey, thanks. Rockin' effin' roll. I gotta hold on. And here we go. And there we are. Look at that, you guys. Very cool, very cool. So look at when you, that's what happens when you zoom in on things. But you can tell that that's him. He's got a baseball cap on. Really obvious, right? There's the backpack. And that was the later shot that shows up in there. Now here it is again. Now this one is great because you can actually see the logo on the front of the shirt that it's the same guy. He's got the glasses on, the hat, and everything. Look at it. And he's swinging the leg forward. So we know it's the same person. Does anybody in here currently disagree that this person right here is the same person that we just saw on the other surveillance video? Because if you do think it's a different person, then you need to have your head examined, right? We just showed you that all of these are, now this one's earlier in the evening, but by the way, or the day, I mean, not evening. And that's when he walked in there earlier. So that's when he's got his maroon shirt on, the backpack, and the hat. But look at this guy right here. I just showed you how he walks down the street and then turns the corner, and then he comes over here right after that, within 5 minutes. And then after that, you can see him right over here in this corner. Watch what he does. So he almost went down. Okay, and then he goes into the grass. So he kind of hesitated for a moment. I wonder if he had a moment that he was maybe going to change his mind. But let me show you where that goes. Thank you. Rockin' effin' roll. Rockin' effin' roll tonight. All right. So right there, when it took a right here, came across the grass, then across this bridge here, and then into the parking lot here, then went into this tunnel. That's the exact spot that we were just showing you that he's coming down in this image right there. See that? And he's got the same shirt on. He's got the hat on. He's got the dark shirt, the jeans, and the right leg is straight down here because look at the way he's turned, you guys. He has to let his left leg down first each time. Watch. So what he would do is step down with his left leg. I mean, not left leg, his right leg. So he stepped down with his left leg, and then he would have his right leg straight and lower it to the next one and step down again. Notice how he's not perpendicular to the railing. He is sideways because he needs to sort of let himself down the stairs. You get it? I know, Summer Dog. We've already gone through all that. Ashley Farrell. I'm debunking Candace Owens. Okay? Something, I don't know what the hell's wrong with her, man. So here he is going down the stairs. That's him. That's the same person as this one right here. Now she goes, look, he doesn't have full lips. How can you tell? That's why they blurred it. God, how do you win with these people? They blurred it so you couldn't tell he had full lips. All right, anyways, this is a dark shirt, and he's got the jeans on and then a phone in the pocket. Then look at, here he is again. The same shirt, the same hat, the glasses. This is the nefarious image that Candace Owens says is not really Tyler Robinson, everybody. Notice he doesn't have full lips. Well, not to mention that half of his face is smudged off in a pixelation moment on a video. But we can't tell. That's what they wanted you to see, though, everybody. They made it look blurry so that you couldn't see it. Hey, thanks, CC. I would pay to see you debate her. Oh, well, she'd kill me. Look it, she's a professional debater. And the way she would say stuff, if I could just if she could do something on video and then I could do it on my video, that's how I would do it. But if we did a debate, she would just, conspiracy theorists can just sell anything they want over and over and over again, and they just don't care what you say back, and neither do the people that believe, oh yeah, she nailed it, man, and everything she said would be completely false, but that's okay. Thank you, rock and F and roll. Listen to Gray and everything will be okay. Listen to Candace and turn your mind into madness. It's crazy. Thanks, CC. I would pay to see you debate. Even if on her channel. Yeah. I mean, I think I could do it. If I was able to present with my, the images and everything that I have, I would do it. If she just wanted to sit there and use words, it's hard to win those kind of things because it's like a lot of the stuff you have to see it and then you go, oh, there you go. So look at, here is the next shot, right? Then we've got this one. And then we've got this one here. And it's the same person because these are literally moments after. This is the same set of stairs. See, look, that's the set of stairs. And then this is the same person. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know if this person is the same one that he walked by, but there might be like two people walking by, and he has to kind of move over when they're coming down. I don't know, but that's the same set of stairs. And look at his shoes. He's got the Chuck Taylors on, and right there's the phone in his pants, right pant pocket. And then right here, he is again, turning, going up this. So a minute ago, he was right down there. And then around the stairs, he's going up now. And then that's the one later that she says is not him. Look how different he looks. Ooh, his shoulders are broad and everything. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at, every camera angle is different. This main one makes him look squatty. If the camera angle was perpendicular to his body, for example, let's say the camera was out, he was standing over there, he probably looked the same thin look. He's squished down. They did the same thing with Kanika Jenkins in videos. They would take her and squish her down. Oh my God, she gained 50 pounds. No, you made the video look crappy. Yeah, so I have these other images in here. So that's him, right? Look at that. Look at this. I mean, I think he even has the same hat on, even though it's a couple of years later, and glasses, for God's sakes. Look at this. And this is 2 years before. Now, this is the one I really thought was interesting. Let me show you, because a minute ago we had that side view, 2 of them. And this is Tyler Robinson. He got pulled over. That's what they want you to see. Now Candace's next move will be to say that the traffic stop was bogus, that they invented a video and they uploaded it into the servers and they put the fake person in there. Here, watch this. I mean, just even that shot right there. I mean, let's just see. Doesn't that look, I mean, look at, I mean, got the same length sideburns on there, right there. Can you see that? That looks like the same person to me. I mean, I don't even know how you can argue with that. You look at that and you go, oh yeah, it is blurrier, sure. But look at it. How is that inconsistent with this person right here? It's crazy. Don't give her any idea. Yeah. All right. But look at this one, though. Look at. I thought this was awesome. This one and this one together. So let's go like that and then put this over here. I mean, yeah, I know it's a little bit more like a side shot, but look at that. That's him. He's got the same kind of sideburns there. The hair going in the back. His ears kind of stick out like that one. Hell, he might even be wearing the same hat there and glasses. Let's go back to the next image. That one's a little bit better even for that. See that? And that's looking down at his head, so his ear is going to look different. Okay? But you can see it. The hair there and the hair there and the hat. I mean, I know he's not looking at the camera. We all get it. And then here's a picture when he, like a younger one too. So that's what he looks like, or looked like in more like a couple of years ago or something. See that? He's got the same glasses, the same everything. And then you compare that with some of these shots. I mean, look, all it is that he, see, it would be great if we had higher definition, because he definitely has this little like pock mark or something right there that you could probably see if we had clear video of him. And you could definitely prove everything. But look at his ear is the same as that one. So these two are Tyler Robinson. Nobody denies that, right? And then here he is again, another time wearing the same glasses. Looks like a similar hat as some other images. And look at this. So he's got, look at in the image there. He's got the same Chuck Taylors on. But yeah, this is a fake person here. Come on, you guys. Is there anybody in here that believes what Candace Owens said today? That is not... And by the way, I missed that up there. Thank you so much up there to Rockin' Effin' Roll. Yes, Rockin' Effin' Roll just donated 10 channel memberships. Absolutely incredible, everybody. See tonight, play at the Bambino family's residence. whatever the hell that even means. Let's see. That's right. Well, she wanted to. She thought it was really interesting, that bush up there. She thought it was really like, man, that's really intriguing. I think it's him, the Dairy Queen picture, you know. I mean, he's got the same glasses, same hat, way he wears a hat. He's got it. Look at, compare these two here. Look at this one and that one. That's the same person, right? Does everybody agree with that? That person is this person. Look at the eyes. He's got similarly, everything's the same. This one is a very good comparison image. That's why I went through and found all of these images out there. Because I want you to see that person is this person. I think I need to make a video on this. You know, like this needs to be like, I don't know. Right. So you see that and you see that. It's the same person. And we all know that this is Tyler Robinson because this is an image that was produced by, you know, family members or however it came from, right? So you got that one. And then here's another picture of him. And you can even tell that that is this guy. I mean, look at this, right? This person is that person. And man, this is, by the way, he almost reminds me of, like, I wear my visor. This guy wears the same hat and glasses on his head in every single picture he takes, for God's sakes. On one of my pages, it is amazing how many people believe conspiracy theories. Because you'll buy anything. You'll buy anything? I don't know what that means, man. Oh, you're talking to somebody else. All right, so does anybody believe that the person walking up those stairs is not Tyler Robinson? I think we've just proven it. I mean, you don't even have to know the person to be able to do that. I mean, just take that one right there. And let's see, that one, let's go find that one that we had a minute ago. Like that. That one, or, I mean, that one's pretty good too. I mean, look at these. But Gray, it's so small and it's so blurry. It's absolutely consistent with him, is what I'm saying. He's got the glasses that he wears, the same hat, etc. So you have that one, you can definitely see it. And we just went through the whole thing, how, you know, he's walking out in the area, I guess, you know, and then, by the way, he drove his car around and he was walking around and law enforcement saw him and the car, right? So they were able to link the car and him, and I'm sure that his cell phone will be pinging in the area as well. That's what I'm saying. This case is, he has no chance in this case. And in fact, if I was him, I wouldn't pull the same stunt that Kohberger did. I would go for, because this is worse than Kohberger. This is a magnitude of like 10 times worse than Brian Kohberger in terms of evidence against him. Because they have him moving around at the crime scene on video. Not just the DNA on the gun or knife sheath, right? This is literally moving around in the area on camera with his face, albeit, you know, has the glasses on, etc. Yeah. No, but here's the thing, is Candace Owens will never get to the point where she goes, you know what, I actually think the thing that makes the most sense is the official story that's out there. And it's not really, see, I hate the word narrative and story or whatever you want to call it. I think it should be, it's just the facts that have been laid out, okay? The narratives that are out there are the YouTubers and people like Candace Owens. They're the ones that put out a narrative, okay? The other information, like, okay, here's a video. Is that narrative? That there's a video of a guy running on a roof? No. Is this narrative all these single still frames? No, it is not. These are every bit of this is a video. It's crazy. Candace thinks you need a ladder to get up. Does she really think that? God. Wow. Now, and I can see, like, on the first day, I mean, we weren't sure, like, there was that ladder, but then I think I immediately went, well, it looks like the ladder was used to put the markers on the building. After I originally thought, there's a ladder there. Didn't really make a lot of sense, though. Who the hell, how would he get the ladder there? Don't mind me, everybody. I've got this huge ladder that I'm putting up. They had that lady that was down there And then I think right after that is when I realized, just using common sense, that the ladder was used to put the markers on the building. Didn't he get up there from inside? Yeah, I've explained this literally 100 times. Let me show you, because we've got the Keeler videos. Let me show you guys these things. Yeah, Chuck Keeler. There goes my stomach. Was it this one? Wow, it's way over there. Okay, that's one of them. Alright, so I'm going to pause this really quick. I'll show you where this is. Alright, so keep in mind, everybody, so when you're on this channel, you'll know the case. If you want to be lost in oblivion of idiocy, talking about, oh, there's no way a bullet could have, you're going to be lost. Trust me, when it's all said and done, you're going to be angry for wasting your time. So right here, we've got, Tyler Robinson walked this direction. Then he went over here. Then he came right across the bridge here, went down this way into the tunnel, and then he went through the tunnel. And I have that actually here too. Oh yeah, let's see. I got it right here. This part's interesting. Maybe we should do it like that. Right, hold on a second. All right, this is when he's on the street, Keeler, when he walked. So this is where he's walking by in the surveillance footage. Right up here is the house with the basketball court, the second house. And then right after that, after this driveway, you take a right and you go down over that little bridge that I just showed you. You guys want to do this? I can just show it to you so you'll just know it, all right? I mean, the freaks that have been here, you guys have all seen it. But hey, if you guys are out there, please consider supporting the channel. We got to have these good nights going into the end of the month. Taking a right here, and then there's a bridge right over here to the right. That's not it. Right there. Okay. So then he goes over the bridge. And then we're just going to move it forward past the bridge. Now he's walking over into the parking lot, going around the corner, and that's the tunnel that he goes in. All right? And then this is right where he's standing in that image that you see of him. Right here. See that? He's going down the steps right there. So he's standing right there in that image. See, look at that. Boom, right here. Okay? And then right above is the camera. Watch when it pans around. There's the 360-degree camera, everybody. It's not really that confusing at this point. And then look, he walks down the hall here. Or, tunnel. And there's a camera right at the end down here. I'll show you. You'll absolutely understand it all. Okay, right there. Boom. See right up in the corner here? Can you see that? That is another surveillance camera. And that's the one. Look at the coloring in here. See the sort of, I don't know, yellow hue or orange hue kind of mix there? Look at this. Can I get a boom? There it is right there. That image is right against this wall as he's walking in this direction from that camera. You see that? So just after he goes into the tunnel opening, there it is right there, right? Okay, then he goes around the corner here. All right, everybody just pay attention. You'll know it. You'll know it better than everybody else. At the end of the tunnel, he takes a right and goes up these stairs. Well, guess what? That stairway is the exact one that we see. So he's right here in this image right there. That's him. He's coming up these stairs. All right, so he's going up these stairs. And then look right there. There's the camera that filmed him going up the stairs. All right, then at the top of the stairs. Look at that. Oh my God, everybody. That's exactly the same shots that we see in these images. Right there, look. Look at this. See that? Just a different angle camera shot there. Look, boom. And then he's going to go right from there. He's going to go around this and then up. See that? And we'll just keep playing it. So that's even a better angle right there to look at it. See, there it is. Right here. He's going up those stairs. Then he goes up these stairs. And at the top, turns a left and then goes out right here. So now he's gone up from below where the tunnel was, out to here, and this is what we have right now. So, just now, we saw him go through this tunnel, down the tunnel, and then we saw at the end, remember, he turned right, and then he went up some stairs that go up like, I mean, this isn't where it's underground, but it goes like this. Up, and then up again, but it was down a level, and that's where it came out right there. And then I think he walked down this way because it's hidden. You're not walking out in the middle of campus. He walks down like this, and then he cuts up right through here and makes his way to the Losi building, which is right there. All right, now we don't have him on any surveillance doing that, but he does appear right there, and then he walks over there and enters the building at 12:02. God, you guys are lucky to have like a person like me. Gray, I don't like you, you bastard. Hey, thank you up there to Richard Brenton. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. And then also thank you to CC. I will sponsor you to go on her show. You would definitely get the smart ones to come. My God. I would hope so, but I don't know, when you say sponsor me, how would that work? All right, so you got that one, and she wouldn't want me on there. And by the way, I mean, all she would be doing is helping my channel, so she probably wouldn't want to do that. I was just goofing around, Lisa, but thank you, God, you guys are lucky. Anyways, I'm lucky to have all of you guys that watch my show on a regular basis. So this is kind of the walk that he would have been taking. And actually, I don't think it's this route, though. I think it's this one right here instead. This one makes a hell of a lot more sense if you have a rifle in your pant leg. So not that one, it's this one right here. Let me show it to you. There it is. Hey, thanks. I love Jesus. Look at that. Great. Thank so very much for the notebook and freak goodies. That's right. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, some people actually, I sent 5 of them out. If you send 30 onto PayPal and, you say that you want the notebook, then I'll send the notebook. Just make sure the address that you have on PayPal is the same as where you live. You get the notebook. I'm out of the blue pens, but you get the notebook, stress ball, and poker chip. But this is how he would go right here. So imagine he's coming up here. He's just kind of making his way up here, and comes out right in the front of the Losi building. Is right there. So from here, you could literally have seen him running across if you were standing there. I wonder if you can see in the reflection. There's a person back there. So see this? You come around the corner here. And see that corner of the building right there on the right? That's the corner he jumps down from. So look at how steep, by the way, this hill is that he goes up. After jumping down, he runs up this steep hill and goes over there. That's why the shadow direction changed, and all of that was in my video that I put out today that nobody watched, so I deleted it, and maybe I'll upload it tomorrow. I'll make a better thumbnail though, because you got to put these really bogus sort of, "Woohoo, everybody, I solved, let's see, perpetual motion. Oh, people watch. Okay, so where he's walking right now is right here. See this? See that? He just walked by that corner. Keeler's walking here. He's going to go in this door right there. I thought the door was there, but now that I look at it, there's gravel, and that's where the door was. So here he goes, going around the corner. And this is where Tyler Robinson went in this door at 12:02. Right. You watched it, but I deleted it. So people go, hey, I'll watch it again. My God. You know, you need thousands of views on those to have them make any, ad revenue or anything. And that's really, you put them out there because they're good videos and you want to put out information, but they have to be worth, like you spend hours making them, and if nobody's watching them, it just seems pointless, So he went out this door eventually, and then look, these stairs right here. So if you're still here and you were wondering, these stairs right here lead to the roof. And now let me show you that. It's right here. These are those stairs. So right in that picture, he is right down there underneath here. I mean, hell, you can almost, it's such a good 3D model. I mean, not great, but like you can literally, sometimes you can slide underneath there. But those are the stairs. You go to the top, and it puts you out in this common area here. And he got up there at 12:15. And then at 12:15, he stepped over this wall and laid down. Okay? And he was still limping all the way to the wall. And then he steps over and he bends down in there. And that's at 12:17. And then at 12:22, he stands up and runs with no limp anymore. And that's because he assembled the rifle. As we know, they found a screwdriver on the roof. And then from here, he ran across over here because he can run now. And then he laid down sort of like probably over here, and then he kind of shimmied his way over. And then he got to about right in this position. And as you can see, if you just creep forward, look at that right there. Right where the yellow pin is on the right is where Charlie Kirk was. And look at, boom. I mean, that's exactly where he was. He had a shot. And I'm the only YouTuber out here that has the exact positioning of the tent. Okay? That is where his tent was. And we know it. Watch this. Can you see that? I did an overlay of a shot straight down. Look how absolutely perfect that is. Every single element is absolutely lined up, absolutely perfectly. Look at the trap door. Stays in the same spot when I blink it on and off. And so that is exactly where the tent was. So I can probably get the closest to where Charlie Kirk was actually sitting than anybody else out there. He's probably 8 to 10 feet from the wall here. And right in this place, right there, right in there. And you can see it. And it doesn't have 3 dimensions, but it does have the from above shot. And then after that shot right there, he gets up and he runs. And now at 12:23:34, we actually can see him running in this position right here. And let me show you. I think I've got it in this video right here, this one. This one's the original video from the FBI, where they actually put it on their website. So you can see, I don't know if you can see, can you see my yellow mouse pointer here? Hey, thanks so much. Barbara Hall. Can you guys see my mouse pointer? Right at the point of that is Tyler Robinson running on the roof. Can you see that? You can barely see it. You'd have to it's really small. And then I don't know if you can see just to the left, there's this little white sort of, let me just throw it into here. Why not? Let me just throw it right there. And then I'm just going to zoom in. We'll go all the way to the beginning, right? That's not the one I'm looking at. Right here. All right. Right there. That's the very first frame that the FBI put out. Look what time it is. 12:23:34. So from that, we probably have to assume that Charlie Kirk was shot at, I would guess, 12:23:20 at the latest. Because let me show you where he is. So I would think at 12:23:20-ish is the time that Charlie Kirk was shot. Not 12:23, but 12:23:20 or so. And then we're going to go to the roof now. Can you see this right here, this thing? See that? And then he's right there. So we're going to go to the roof, and we're going to look at that. And on the roof, that's this thing. That's right here. I mean, so he's probably just in that position there, and that's the little nodule thing that you see on the roof. Whatever you call that, probably some sort of a vent of some sort. So let's just measure the distance there from here to here. And it is there, it's just underground. It's, hold on, 46 feet. I mean, that is nothing. Let me do that again. Right there to here. Well, that one says 68 feet. So let me just do one more to verify that. From here. That says 69. So that's really what it is. So that is, so let's say it's 6 Debbie, 20 yard, 22 yard, 23 yards. Nothing. So I think in that 13 seconds, what do you guys think? I think the shot was 12:23:20. He didn't linger there. He shot, stood up, and ran. So I'm going to put, it might even be later than that, like 12:23:22 or something. That's what I'll put. Right there, right? So, because right here it's 12:23:34, and all that is 20 yards. So he stood up and started running over to here. And that's when we pick him up in the video, way back there. I have to zoom in though, but this is what the full video looks like. So when people are so harsh on the, oh my God, everybody, it's so, you can't make out the shadow, you can't see this, you can't see that. It's ridiculous. Look at this. Tyler Robinson is probably 15 pixels right there. Okay? That's it. I mean, like 1, 2, 3, If I had another program, I could actually zoom in and count the pixels. There's very few of them there. Because look at the full size of the video, and then we're going to zoom in over here on this. So, if I go forward frame by frame, I've been doing this stuff for so long, you guys. I've seen every trick in the book by the conspiracy nutters. Can you just block that person? You guys, I'm not sure why you only get a couple shots in there. You just delete them. They're a spammer. Hey, thanks. Rockin' effing roll. If you say there's something sus about this case, you probably have a bias towards the government authority, and it's more of your problem. Right. And I can't stand the word sus. It's just, I'm thinking of adding it as a banned word in here. What do you guys think? Come up with something else. Sus is almost code for I'm a conspiracy nutter. That's sus. Okay. All right. So look at that. Let's see. Is there a way to? I wonder if there's a way to. I wish we could see, but just so you know, the corner of the building is right over here. I don't think it's over there. I think it's right there. Like there's the edge. So he was shooting from right there, and he got up and he ran over to here, and then he runs all the way over to this corner, and let me show you. I'm just gonna. Frame by frame forward. Now it's kind of, they start panning out or zooming in, so it makes it kind of weird, but you can still see him right there. See? See, he's right there. And in some of those frames, you can see a shadow. And then you say, well, I can't see him in all of them. Well, it's just the way it is sometimes. You know, the light values and different things. It just is how it is. With the when you have video and it's so small, it just didn't have enough information. Yeah, so that one you can start seeing a shadow right there. I saw it. Watch. Go back one. See, now there's a shadow there, and then now you can see the shadow because he's getting closer, right? Because what we're looking at on the top, this is what he's doing. He's running from way back here, and he's literally going like this. See, he's not going like that across. He's going at an angle all the way over here, and that's what we're seeing in this video here. So in a minute, you'll see him behind the glass, but I just showed you the angle he's literally running from. It's a sharp angle. So there it is. Ding, 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 ding. But he's not right behind the building. Okay? He is running like this. From here, straight line like that, and then over to here. And there he comes out right there. And then, watch what happens here, everybody. There's no shadow on here, but look what changes on him, too. Why is it moving like that? Oh, wait, I got it. Okay, turn that off. That's right, I was connected to the motion thing. All right. But see, look at him right here. Look how he's changed. And when he's over on the gray part of the roof, he's way more solid looking. See that? See how he's like, you can make out the thickness of the legs, etc. But as soon as he gets onto the white part of the roof, the image gets blown out and is overexposed just in that portion of the surveillance footage. But look what it does to him. Look at his legs get really skinny. It starts removing pixels because it's blown out in the entire image. And then coming over here, now you can see a little bit of a shadow one time because there are shadows there in real life. And there might be some information where there's still some shadow information. And it's right there. Now this part in the corner is not him putting an object down. This right there is the shadow from what he's holding. Because watch how it, the timing as it spins, it's the same thing. See that? So it's just a shadow on the corner there, and he's turning. And to give you a comparison, this is in the video that I put out. Let's see, that was in today's. Oh yeah, right here. So here's a picture of a person that has a white background and the image is blown out. You see what it did to them? I mean, I don't know if this was originally just a larger, like a doll or, something they used, but look what it does to it. You're almost completely missing the solid images of the arms, etc. I guess we're getting spammed in here tonight, you guys. Just catch them right away. Just immediately. Yeah, so you got that. And then look at this. Here's another way to look at it. See how this image right here has, all the relief in there you can see because there's miniature shadows against all of those. But then all of a sudden it gets blown out right here, and now you can't see a lot of the shadows that would be in this area had it not been blown out. And then this one similarly. See that? Right over here in this portion. Can't even make out any detail at all. And that's what you're getting on the roof over here. This is a really common thing that happens in videography. All right? It literally happens all the time. You guys have done it yourselves. When you've taken a photo with somebody with a white t-shirt on, and it just blows out the image of them and their shirt and even the logos that are on the shirt. You can't even see them half the time because it's just... But the other person next to him wearing the blue shirt, it looks fine, right? Yeah, and the sun is what made that like really bright there. It made a big difference. If it was an overcast day, you probably would have been able to see the shadow better. But the sun really with the reflective values likely in the white area there, completely blew out the image in that portion of it. All right, so does anybody disagree with that? Anybody disagree with that explanation right there? Hey, thanks, Dina Caddy. Keep up the great work. Thank you for being factual, sane person out of the crazies. Yeah, there's only a couple. The thing is, I'm not even going to entertain the conspiracy stuff. As soon as I hear it, I know it's not true because everything's been put together in an order that makes sense already. And then the other thing I was trying to show people was, look at this. Remember a minute ago how I showed you how steep that hill is right there? Well, like a good way to look at it, look at the angle of the pole here. See that? See how that goes up the hill? And then when the guy's on the ground, watch this. So he's on the ground. Now look at his angle. See the angle of his shadow? Goes straight out, and then you go, ooh, it's a different time, because look, the shadow of the light pole goes up steeper. Look. All right, let me show you what's happening there. See right over here? I don't know if you, can you guys see this? I mean, it's pretty far away, but let's just pretend that that's the light pole. And then watch this. So in this program here, I'm going to grab right over here, and I'm going to make it like a hill. See how it goes up like that? We'll just make that a hill in there. And then we'll select that same pole. Now watch what happens. Oh! Right there. You see that? See how right there it goes up at an angle and it's not straight out now? See how I can here's the thing. When you're actually using factual information, it's so easy. Every time a conspiracy theory comes out, the reason it's easy to debunk is because they're not true. All right? So it's easy to go, oh, look at this. So you see how that right there literally shows you the angle goes up when it goes up a hill. So even that part, if you hear some nut job saying, oh, how come the angle's different? Well, there you go. That's the answer to that part. And that's why that's up at an angle, because that's a hill that goes up there. And so that's another way to look at this. When he's going up here, he's going up a really steep hill right there. This whole thing is really steep. And then now he's coming off the other side, and he's running off. And, you know, one of the things that's sort of interesting, if you go back to this right here, is it's 12:23:34 when he's, or 44 when he's right over there. And then I've actually done it, he's getting off the roof right at 12:24 flat. All right, so right there was 12:24:50 or 12:23:50. And then he gets over there and he gets off the roof right at 12:24 is when he's jumping down. Hey, thanks, K-Me. And Mo Miss. I was thinking of Christmas. Moxis. Mo X. I genuinely want your insight into why they start this rooftop footage when they do. As opposed, hold on, I gotta read that again. As opposed to the shot, let me put it on the screen. I generally want your insight into why they start this rooftop footage when they do, as opposed to the shot, because all they were proving in the probable cause document was the gun portion of it. Because that was going to be in the probable cause. So all they gave us was what they put in the probable cause, although they described, I guess they did describe what else they saw, so it would have been nice if we'd seen that on video. But the probable cause document literally described all the other stuff, and then it showed us the second half of it, because it was really, they put this video out to show us that it appeared that he had a black towel in his hands. It kind of showed what he was wearing, and it was wrapped around an elongated item at the time, right? And we know it's a rifle because they actually found the black towel wrapped around a rifle in the woods right outside there. Hey, thanks so much, Carrie Summers and Michelle Estepinal? Michelle Estepinal. Man, you guys are giving me some tough names tonight, man. Giving me some tough names. Hey, good night, Sandy. Hope you feel better. Is that a good enough answer? It says, when opposed to the shot, or he's packing his rifle away. He didn't pack his rifle away. That's the thing. So what happened here is he had the rifle in his pants, right? And then he comes up these stairs right here. I mean, I can try to like almost imitate what he did. Watch. He went like this. Kind of went around like this. Then he hung out here for 2 minutes. Then he climbs over this wall here, crouches down. He puts the gun together. And then he runs at 12:22. He starts running over here like this. And he kind of crouches down and crawls over into position like that. Makes his way up here, and then he fired. And then from here, he turns around and he runs. Gotta get it a little higher here. And he runs this direction. Off over here. We see it on video. And then he climbs down, jumps down, right there. Then he runs up over this hill over here. Then down right over here. And then across to here. Then goes across the street. And then this is where the photographers were looking into the woods right here. So maybe he entered the woods right in this area. And then inside the woods there, he left the rifle with the black towel and changed clothes. And then he walked out of the area, and he was going to go back later to collect it, but he was never able to do that. How about that? And the reason they don't always give us everything that they've got. You know, it would have stopped some, you know, here's the thing, it wouldn't matter, you know. Like Candace Owens would still come up with some conspiracy, and so would all the conspiracy people, regardless of him being seen. We know it exists. It's 100%, right? Like, let me just, I guess I have to do that part again. Let me get it. It's right here. Guess I have to go backwards though. Let's see. View or sort by name. There it is. Next one here. This one. Let's see. Well, he would have to stand up or maneuver the rifle to cover it with the towel. Right when he stood up. Right. I would think that footage would be much easier to identify a rifle. Well, no, I don't think so. Let me tell you why. Is because that's so far away at that point. Here, let me just show you. See this image right here? Moxis. How do you say that name, by the way? I don't know how to say it. Treasure X, you're correct, assuming videos are unedited. Yeah, well, they're not edited, okay? I mean, listen, it's just, I know that people think that law enforcement edits videos and surveillance. They just don't, okay? Never seen it once in my entire life where law enforcement edited, like put something in a video. They have edited where they've taken, you know, like they'll edit stuff out to get to the point where you want to watch it, but they just don't do that. Gray, you're so naive. Well, give me an example where law enforcement took a surveillance footage and edited it to put something in it. But let me just show you really quick. See how small this is right here? Mo, see that? It's even smaller when he's back in this corner. So all you're going to see is the camera would be pan, because you can look 360 degrees. You'll see a guy running across over here, move over a little bit, lay down, then you'll see them stand up, and you might be able to make out something, but you can make out better over here because he's closer. So when he finally makes his way over to this section, it's much closer to the camera, and this is where you can make out stuff. Watch this. Mo, watch this one right here. So as he turns, watch this shot right here. So the gun is on the roof right now. Watch this. Boom! That right there is the rifle. See that? I would almost argue that that's possibly the barrel there, or the barrel, not the barrel, the stock. So look see how it's swinging. So he reaches and grabs it, and it swings over. You can see it, crystal clear. I mean, not crystal clear. I don't want to make something up. It's an elongated object that he's taking off the roof. Hey, thanks, Carrie Summers. And then look at this. Moves it down. You can see it. Look at the long object there. This whole thing right here. He's holding it in his hand, wrapped in a towel. And then right here he jumps off the roof. And when he hits the ground, his hat does not come off his head. You can see it's still on his head. His glasses fell off, so he reaches down and grabs his glasses, as was somebody said in the chat a long time ago. As a matter of fact, you can see, look at right there. There's the bill of the hat right there. He's moving. And then he tries to put the glasses on his head. That's the one that starts over again. It does it 3 times. And so now we'll go to the final one here. So look at his left hand. See that? See, his left arm is up by his head. He's trying to put those glasses on. A hat's easy to put on. Glasses not easy if one of the sides break down. Thank you, Carrie Summers. Thanks, you guys. Man. All right, so here we go. And look at this whole time he's moving. He's got a towel and that's the rifle, you guys. I mean, he is absolutely covering it up with that black towel, and he's trying to get through. And look at, like, right there, see? He's holding it now almost like you would hold a rifle, running with it on the side. And there's the towel hanging off the end of it right there. He's running. And he's still running. It's almost like he's trying to really, like, come on, you know. He's holding it. I think he's almost got it right next to his leg. Look at that. He's almost trying to, like, move it with his leg. That's crazy. I didn't really think of that till just now. See that? That's the rifle right there. And it's almost like he's intentionally swinging it with the movement of his leg in this timing. See that? Because he's not in his pants, but he knows that's the look he's got to get. So look at this. He's moving. Look at this. That's crazy. Look at that. Boom. He swings it right with his left leg. And then he swings it right again with his left leg. That's crazy. Man, I didn't even see that before. And he's still doing it right there. Boom. And he's still doing it. And then it gets separated here in a second. Watch. Right? See that? There's 3 things here. That's actually his leg. That's another leg. And there's the rifle right there. You see that? I know. I don't think we really have 5,000 people. This always happens sometimes. Some random weird numbers pop up. I don't believe it. And then here he goes. Oops. All right. I'm still on the roof. I gotta go back to where I was. Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's crazy. Look, he's trying to move it at the same pace. And then, believe it or not, that's his leg. That really skinny thing right there. Originally, I thought that was the rifle, but it's not. I mean, it's amazing what just every once in a while, the way it's being, the codec and how it's being processed just doesn't catch the stuff correctly. It's a glitch, Gray. It has to be fake. Okay, then what about the cars? They do the same thing. Yeah, I hate the way they zoomed it around. Just give us the footage. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe we can see exactly those rocks right there. That's where he came out. And so it looks like maybe, is that right, those ones? Here. If I go right where the camera is. Right there. And then there's that light pole. I don't know, it could be like these ones, right? These three here. I see these ones too, but let's pan it back a little bit while it was turning. Okay, so you can see those other rocks over there too. Come on, let go of the thing. All right, yeah, there's ones over there, and now he's passing, and he went right between those, didn't he? Let's do that again. This is what I would love to do if this was my job, video analysis. Oh my God, I would just be, but I think he goes behind that one. Yeah, look at that. That was cool. So he went between that rock and that one right there. So, and it's the second set of, so it's this one right here. I think I almost had it right accidentally. I mean, he went right between there, I think. Yeah. So I think 1, 2, 3 are 1, 2, 3, and he walks right between that rock. So I'm gonna just put where he was standing here. All right, and then he just makes his way to right there. I mean, see, the thing is, the camera has that whole shot, so they can see him move from here to the wooded area. Then they go into the woods and they find the rifle with the black towel wrapped around it. And then he changes his clothes, leaves it in there. You know, he left it in there, and he makes his way over here, and he was running over here. Then I think he went back up this direction, and he made it to his car that I think was parked somewhere in this square right here. Somewhere in that square, his car was parked. And that makes sense even with this information. At 8:23, he's driving like this. And where was he going? He went on the campus at 8:30, but is that sort of where he was parking later? Because later he walks this way. So he came from a car that was parked over here, and then he made his way around like this. And then later you see him coming down with, you know, ready to kill, walking in this direction, coming from up here somewhere. So after the homicide, he must be coming up like this, going that direction. You know, he went through the wooded area here, but then he sprints over here, and the reason is because at the end of the street, this is a fence. He couldn't go down that street, so he went down this street, and then I think he obviously then went north wearing shorts, etc., making his way in his maroon shirt to a vehicle that was parked up here. And he drove away for a while, then came back. It could have been one piece or taken. I think it was taken apart, though. I don't think it was. I think there was two parts, and I think that's why he had the screwdriver, and he put it together. I think he had it broke into two 30-something inch, pieces. All right, cool. All right, anybody have any questions or anything? And if you're late here. I mean, I don't think we have 6,400. And if we did, we'd have like 12,000 views already. But what we were talking about earlier is Candace Owens' is absolutely ludicrous statements that she seems to make on a daily basis. And guess what? We're all talking about her. Oh, let me go check out Candace Owens. So it all just works in her favor. Yeah, it's not a real number. You know how that works. We did have like 700 or 800 though. That's pretty good for me. Tyler had to have rehearsed this. Yeah. Well, I think that day. So, remember the video I put out, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. The one that had the 8:06 time frame that Candace Owens was putting out there along with some news outlets. The 8:06 time frame of the first video in the morning when he's walking by wearing the maroon shirt. Well, that was actually more like 10:08 or so, or maybe even 10:06. He was right here at 9:58, and then he walked all the way around like this, and then he's walking by right here at 10:08. So that affects the timeline in terms of what was going on before. I think that at 8:30 in the morning, he walked around, looked at everything, just to kind of refresh himself, because I think he was probably there another time, and he was looking around, and then at around 10 o'clock, he heads in and does basically a dry run. He, right at like 10:10, he's walking by right here, goes into the tunnel. I think he's going to absolutely be on there, doing the same thing, walks around over here. They'll show him walking in front of the building here at, 10:20, and then entering right there. And I don't know if he goes up all the way, but maybe he does. Maybe even walks over to here. Then he goes down. He just wanted to see how easy it would be to do. And then he makes his way back to his car, and he's back to his car by, 10:50-ish. And then, in that time frame there, he gets dressed in his garb. What's funny, Miss Parker? Anyways, hey, thanks, Grant. Candace Owens is greater than Sherlock Holmes. She said so many times. Oh, I see. That's probably what the haha was. You got a shout out from another live stream as they were ending. Probably which one was that? I don't know. I just don't think I don't legitimately. There's 8,347. My total views is 8,464. So that's impossible. It's actually, there was more than 100 people watching prior to that. I did too. I used to think Candace Owens was great. I used to tell people about her. Like, oh my God, have you seen Candace Owens? I especially like when she did the Blexit stuff, where she was really communicating to other black people saying, hey, you're being, absolutely used by the Democratic Party and sold a bill of goods. And, she had made great points and arguments the whole time. And she was just this great little, up-and-coming star. Oh, yeah? What was the shout-out? What did he say? I like Paramount Tactical. I wish he was we were the two doing shows together. I mean, because I think, I'm pretty good at mapping stuff out and logically thinking through stuff. Yeah, I throw him compliments too. Yeah, anyways, Candace Owens used to be amazing. But she's turned into Alex Jones, okay? That's who she's turned into. Just call her Candace Jones from now on. I don't know how it would go. I mean, she would, she's a way better debater than I am. But if I was allowed to, mute her mic, like how you do it, and then show my angle, and then she can respond to it. That's how it would work. All right? She'll just claim, here's what's going to happen. It's all going to turn out exactly the way the reality is. And at the end, she'll say, well, I can't help that my sources lied to me. Okay. That's how it's going to happen. He is a good dude. I've talked to him on the phone multiple times, just on the side, Paramount Tactical. Let's see. We can like both. Nah, yeah. It's embarrassing if you like Candace Owens and you agree with what she's saying. I don't really want you around here. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like scary, you know. It's shameful. All right, she's just kind of turned into. No, I mean you can be here and whatever, but I just I'm not really I'm not like. I think it's ridiculous that you believe in any of the stuff that she's saying out there. How many different theories can you have in a week? As soon as people, the conspiracy theorists, change their theory, and it's still another theory that it's not really Tyler Robinson, you have to start questioning them. How come they just keep having more theories, but it's never Tyler Robinson it's obvious. Isn't that weird? You'd think one day they would go, you know what? I've been looking at all this stuff, and I actually think it is Tyler Robinson. And here's why. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Instead, now she's saying that it's not even him. Okay? It's ludicrous. Let's do the image thing again that we did earlier. If you didn't see that part, just look at this. All right? I'm just going to show you some of these images here. We've already gone through all of these. We showed that when he was walking on the surveillance footage, he had this same white logo, the hat, everything is the same. This is the person in the surveillance footage. Then you got images like this. So when you look at an image like that, and then you look at an image like this one, you can definitely tell that that's the same person. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I saw that one and this one, I'd say, yeah, it looks like that's the same person. I wouldn't think, oh my God, they look totally different. Look at the neck's the same. The glasses, the hat, just the general look is the same, right? Even though that's pretty blurry, that one, but that is him. And this is the same person before that. The sun is just hitting him, so everything looks brighter, but this is like literally 50 feet from that last image, just before going into the tunnel that this one is shot from right here. That's in the tunnel. We went through the whole thing a minute ago. Then after he goes through the tunnel, he goes up these stairs right here. Well, guess what? That's the same person, because we already established that this person and the last one's the same. And so this person here, after he turns the corner, is the same person. Look at that. He's even got the phone inside the pants, just like that. And then you have this one here. Isn't that interesting? So you see him, the side of his head. Look at that look right there. Boom, boom. Very similar. Especially if you take a look at this one. I think it's the one right before that. Not that one. So this one. So look at that. See that? The little sideburn. Boom. His ears stick out a little bit like that. That's definitely him, you guys. There's no doubt that that's him at all. And then this one here, you go, well, how do we know that's him there? I mean, the other guy looked like the other guy, and the other one with... Okay, well, look. That's him, right? I mean, can you tell? That's Tyler Robinson, and so is this guy. Why'd you say this guy? I don't know. Then look at this one here. I mean, that's the same person, right? That's Tyler Robinson, and this is Tyler Robinson. Apparently at Dairy Queen in Orem. All right, but you look at that image there, and... you could even, if you take a look at these images here, stuff like that, this image is one Candace wants you to really look at. Look at his lips look different. Well, his whole face is missing because that's what you get in pixelation. Have you guys ever watched a show on TV and somebody's, it's a remote camera and they're talking and all of a sudden there's this warped look of the pixels on their face? People actually take that stuff and pretend it's like there's something going on, instead of just saying, well, that's just technology. That's how it works. You get this all the time here. And then this one right here. I think this is what I wanted people to look at. Look at that. You can't tell that, Tyler Robinson and this guy, even though he has a mask on, that's exactly what that face looks like. So that's him. And look at every one of the shots. He's got the same damn hats on and everything. It's crazy. And here's this one again. He's got the glasses on. Look at the glasses on his hat right there. I mean, obviously, you know, you might say, okay, those are both. I get that, I get it, but they're not the same guy in the video. But it is the same guy in the video. Look at that. I mean, that's the same guy, everybody. There is no doubt about it. Candace Owens is, all right. She has lost her marbles. And you know, that's my opinion. Okay. Nope, nope. It isn't great because he doesn't have his head turned up. You great. How about this one right here? How about this one right here? Look at that one right there, and this one right here, huh? You don't think that looks like the same person in those images right there? You don't see that? Boom, boom, boom. Yep, and let's see, we got this one here. Yeah. I don't know. I can't convince foolish people, you know, or naive people. It's very difficult. I mean, I could sit here all day and show you these things. And for me, it's really obvious. His parents even said, oh, that's our kid. And then they tried to get him to send a picture of the rifle. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't produce it. And, you know, later, and it turns out when the gun had his DNA on the trigger, on the screwdriver, on the blanket, and over the stock of the gun. All right? Come on, you guys. Any other questions out there? But Gray, it couldn't have been a 30-06, you bastard. It would have created an exit wound. You know, we've already gone over this 1,000 times, you guys. You know, here's the thing is, I know that the experience of the shooters, and they're, you know, when they're shooting targets, etc., and shooting at gels and different things, it blasts out. Okay? But the truth is it's not. Let me just load this up. What did we have yesterday? And we don't know what type of bullet he was using. We don't know what you know, if the gun's barrel was old and outdated, and what kind of effect that had to do with the bullet exiting the rifle. It's just crazy how people just think that there's no other answers for anything. Let me see, what was that last one? Is it this one? Okay. I think it was in this chat GPT here. Do you think Turning Point will disavow Candace? I think they should. But then she'll call that a conspiracy of the people that were trying to cover up what really is going on there with the financials. Oh yeah. So I said, some conspiracy theorists think because there's no exit wound on the back of Charlie Kirk's neck, it has to be because some other way, because they claim that a bullet fired from a 30-06 rifle 100% has to go through the neck, and that there is no other logical explanation. And then ChatGPT responded with, that's a myth. A 30-06 at that distance will always create an exit wound, it said. Reality, nope, not even close to always. High velocity rifle rounds usually do exit, but whether they do depends on angle, tissue type, yaw fragmentation, and what they hit internally. The human neck has dense structures, vertebrae, carotid arteries, airway, and is a narrow space. If a bullet strikes bone or yaws sideways, it can dump all its energy and stay in the body. Examples: JFK autopsy, 6.5 millimeter Carsano round, high velocity, small entry wound at the back, exit at the throat. In other cases, with the same ammo rounds, stopped in soft tissue or shattered on bone. Hunting incidents, plenty of documented cases of 30-06 and 308 rounds staying in a torso or neck when they hit heavy bone. You see that? See, it's not like everybody goes, oh, it's 100% every single time you gotta... And it's just weird, you know? I mean, we don't know what the ballistics are going to say. If the bullet was yawing and sort of starting to rotate, I think given the short distance, and even if it was going 1,700 feet per second or something, would still exert a ton of energy on the neck, and even if it was a little off target, it could still hit the area, penetrate the neck, but most of the energy would be dispersed on the like a larger surface area, and that's what you see, that big shock wave that he got. But the bullet doesn't exit. And I think that's what we're going to find out. It's something like that. You know, it could be also at if there is, we still don't have the answer, but Paramount Tactical, you know, he kind of goes back and forth on the breastplate thing, and we still don't have the answer. Was he wearing a freaking breastplate or not? You'd think somebody, I mean, we should have the answer, because the sheriff said he wasn't wearing one, and so did Erica. Okay, so that should be the answer, that he wasn't wearing one, but we still haven't heard, like, from an official to tell us that. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm not going to read whatever the hell you want me to read. I have no idea what you're talking about. They just delegate chunk of lead wrapped in soft jacket. Yeah, I mean, what if it's a soft point bullet? Or what if it wasn't as powerful as other bullets, or it was the wrong type of ammunition, because he just kind of grabbed one and maybe it doesn't fit the rifle he was using that required more rotational velocity, and his didn't, that bullet wasn't designed for his particular weapon. Now, I know he pointed at that. I don't agree that was a bullet hole, though. I don't agree with that. I saw that other video. Nobody proved anything. All right, but what do you think? Did I make a pretty good case here tonight, you guys? I mean, I feel like I don't know if I can do any better, I just have no way to think that I could do any better. It's like, I think the images are him. I think it's 100% him. I mean, I don't even just think. I know that is Tyler Robinson, and he is the shooter, and there is no doubt about it. Now, here's the thing, everybody. Is it possible that there was somebody in the crowd that texted him or something? I guess, but we'll find that out at trial or somewhere else, and there might be another arrest made. But so far, there hasn't been any other arrest made in connection, right? Have you noticed that? Could it be people on Discord servers egging him on, encouraging him, and they knew it was going to happen and said something? I think that's a possibility too. But there is absolutely zero chance that there was another shooter on the roof that did this. It is Tyler Robinson. He is the shooter. And I just want, this is a place where you can go and know that. Okay? I mean, you get to actually, like, oh, okay, good, finally. Because it is the truth. All right. I know it's not sexy. It's not as fun and cool and interesting, but I think it's disgusting how many people keep making videos on that. I'm making videos out here trying to, it's not even just trying to, I can just shred the shit out of these theories because they're not true. And that's what, in every case that I do the debunking videos in, it's easy to do because it's not true what they're saying. So having that as knowledge, you just go, okay, well, then here it is. Don DeSalt. I am a hunter and veteran infantry officer who has come to the same conclusions. Great videos. I've been arguing with my peers about. Right. See, that's so cool of you, Don. That is so cool. Yeah. See, that's the thing is, I think what we see a lot of are, that are just these people just showing up out of the woodwork that are ex-military or, they worked in special forces or something. And all of a sudden we're supposed to all put aside logic and reason and believe all of their theories because of that, right? But I just think that I bet you Dawn could tell you that there's probably some range when she's firing on ranges. I bet there's sometimes where the bullet yaws or does something differently or something, And every time somebody's shot with a bullet, it doesn't do exactly what you think it's supposed to do. There was only one bullet here that was shot, and maybe if he shot two more, one of them or the other two would have gone out the neck. He didn't do that though. He shot one with an old rifle, and we don't even know what kind of ammunition he had. And guess what, you guys? People are expecting to get the same amount of information in this case as we did in the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. I forgot the guy's name. I was trying to... What was his name? Crooks. Right? He died. He got taken out. Those guys nailed him. I have the best videos of that. You just wouldn't have believed it. But he got absolutely taken out. And that's why they were able to give out information. Like, oh, look at this. Here's a PowerPoint presentation moving around. Tyler Robinson's alive, and he's been arrested and charged. So now it's like any other case out there. Have you ever noticed that you don't really, you don't get, like for example, in the Idaho 4 case with Koberger, we got very little stuff. The probable cause document was all we had for years until some of the pre-trial motions and things were being filed and then made public. We were able to get some more new information. But that's exactly what's going to happen here. Okay? That's exactly what's going to happen here is now in this preliminary hearing that's happening on October 30th. That's a big deal because in that hearing, they will probably present information that was not in the probable cause document. And I think that preliminary hearing is going to kind of direct the direction of, any sort of pleadings that Tyler Robinson might do. I'm not sure I don't know. It's hard to know, like, is the state they're going to go, well, we're going for the death penalty no matter what? Or would they cut a deal? The death penalty is a great negotiation tool as well. So you could say, okay, we're going to give you life without parole, and that's it. Yeah, that's what Candace tells you, 406 Crusader. And who knows if he is. He doesn't look like he is even in those videos. But maybe they didn't want him to take his own life. But listen, anything Candace Owens says, take with a bucket of salt. Not a grain, a bucket, because the direction she's going is ultimately going to fail. And guess what? You guys will still all watch and think she's just lovely. She is absolutely beautiful. Got to give her credit for that. And smart, very smart person, but something has happened to her rational thinking. Okay? And that's just true. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, so don't, whenever she says something, just go, yeah, I'll have to see that from a credible source because she's not one. All right? Oh, I think she's pretty. You know, I don't think so. Hey, lucky bass turd. By the way, I caught a 2.6 pound bass the other day, and on the scale, and I put it in the water, and it pulled the scale out of my hand and took off. Can you believe that? I've never had that happen in my life. It just darted under the water, and it went woo. But she's been like this for 2 years plus, so it wasn't the grieving. You guys have been watching her, right? This Epstein shit, not the Epstein, the Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein love-a-fest. I mean, she loves Harvey Weinstein. Oh, this guy's great. Really? Give me a break. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a bass swimming around in a lake with a scale attached to his lip. It just sucked. No, she's been doing it for a long time. Remember how she's been doing the Harvey Weinstein stuff? And then she was doing, I don't think anybody likes Kamala Harris, even Democrats that are in here. I don't think any of you like her at all. And if you do, you probably have to get your head examined as well. But she, she was doing this stuff about looking into her, like genealogy records and things. And, like this person knows this person. It's just kind of creepy. Like, who cares about any of that? It's not going to have any effect on anything. She is. Now, you know what she's trying to say? What she's trying to infer, you guys, on her shows, is what I'm about to tell you. And see, right now, we're at the number where we would probably be. You see how it just shot off of a cliff like that? It's crazy, the way it looks on here. It just goes, whew, a parabolic shift. Haven't watched her till recently. Oh yeah, what she's trying to say is that Twigs is actually the guy here. Okay, like this is Twigs here. It's not really Tyler Robinson. That's what she's trying to imply. And because, I've heard that Twigs he's really mean, and Tyler Robinson's really smart. In fact, he got really good grades and everything. So why would he do such stupid things by sending a text message to Twigs telling him everything? Well, listen, don't you understand? I mean, Tyler Robinson was out there all on his own. He probably thought he was doing something really noble for Twigs, taking out Charlie Kirk because of his stance on the trans world. You know, so he kills Charlie Kirk, and then he's out there, and I think if he was able to get that gun right away, let's say he went to get that rifle and he was able to grab it right away, that whole text messages situation never would have happened. What he did was he was getting scared and he felt alone because for hours he was sitting around waiting to get that gun, and there was law enforcement around there, and he knew he couldn't get it. In fact, he was probably wondering if they're actually waiting to see who might show up to go retrieve it. And then eventually he was just going, I'm not going to be able to get it. So he started reaching out, you know, saying, hey, this is what's going to happen. Because now he knows that they're going to probably link the gun to him, you know, whether DNA or something. So he was starting to reach out. Hey, you know, I just wanted to say. And then he works through it, you know, trying to get them on board to help out. Yeah, hey, maybe you should go in and try to. And it just, you know, that's how it was going for him. I think to me, it seems like a normal reaction and a conversation and that he might have. And apparently, you know, he even told him to delete the messages. I don't know. I'm not one of the people that think that's a fake text message exchange. I know a lot of people still think that, but I don't. It would be the most idiotic text message exchange in the world that he would actually. I mean, there's no reason to do what he did if it was a planned text message exchange. There's no reason for it at all. And law enforcement knows that because they have the timing of those text messages. I bet you a lot of those text messages are from like 4, I would imagine even from like 3:30 till 7:30 at night. Yeah, well, that can probably cause that. Broken Thunder. I blame the schools for a lot of this. They sort of indoctrinate people into believing certain things. I think the education system in the United States has been a disaster for the United States in the last, I'd say, 20, 30 years. Just an absolute horrendous. Now, you might be a teacher out there, I'm sorry, but you might even can see that. Hopefully you're one of the good ones. But it is a nightmare. They are the reason for so much of this. I mean, we're so bad in the world in terms of like we're like 25th or some ridiculous number for the greatest country on the planet. And we're absolutely letting our kids down. I thought it was a great idea to bring back in physical fitness again in school. We used to all have that. Get rid of the trophies for everyone. Start teaching kids the basics again, and like George Bush's "Nobody Left Behind," but really make that a thing that is real. Okay, make it a real thing, because without having some sort of an education or another way to get out, you're screwed, man. This is and it's all on the education system, and they're just idiotic little concepts that they have. It's crazy. Shown a lot more. He has the barrel in the pant leg to the knee. Right. I have watched all that Gray has shown a lot more. Yeah. You ever notice the other channels that do the conspiracies? They don't want to show you certain things. They got to leave things out because, I'm showing you everything. Like every single piece of element that they've got. And it all makes sense. This isn't a case where I can say, something just doesn't add up here. Things just don't seem right. There's something, I'm not doing that, because it does. It makes sense. Everything makes sense here. The only thing that we need, an answers for, and it's going to show, the bullet will be from Tyler Robinson, fired from the gun, and we just want answers of like, what did the bullet do once it hit the neck? Where was it lodged? And why do they think they did that? And the thing is, I don't even need that. That's just bullets do things. Sometimes they go in, they hit like your collarbone and shoot down and come out your rear end or some crap like that. It's the weirdest thing you've ever seen. Yeah, Joe Rogan is, is a conspiracy theorist at heart. He really is. In general, he's a kind of a pragmatic type of person, but you always see the conspiracy theories lingering in the background. The way he talks with certain guests that come on. He entertains and believes in a lot of the, classic conspiracy shit. Like, people actually believe we never landed on the moon. That's ludicrous. You know that? It's absolutely ludicrous that we never landed on the moon. We have the astronauts that have been there describing it. Okay? Joe Rogan, he's entertaining as hell, but my God, that's just what they're told to say, Gray. Right. We went to the moon. We landed on the moon. There's real video of them on the moon. But how do you explain the shadows, Gray? Yeah, I think he's going to plead guilty, this guy. Well, he's not even pled yet, apparently. In Utah, they don't plead until, I think after the preliminary hearing, he might plead at that point. But currently he's just being detained without bail because he is the killer, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, because they were there. Let's see. I mean, how do you explain Apollo 13? I guess they didn't land on the moon, but, you know, it's just these people. It's, you know. All right. Well, I wouldn't mind a plea deal in this case, because I think the FBI would then immediately come out and tell us everything that they had. You know. But the guy also deserves the death penalty for doing what he did. I mean, what a monster. He's kind of an odd one, though, right? He just seems, you know, it's just a weird situation, isn't it? That is a great movie. You know what sucks is I love Tom Hanks as an actor. I can't stand him as a person, though. You know, it's weird. A lot of these guys, you know, kind of similar to, what's his name? Robert De Niro, you know. Can't stand that guy. But, man, he's so great in the movies. You know, how do you not watch, like, Goodfellas every single time it's on the whole time? You know, like, he's freaking great. What a moron in real life, though. You know, absolute, just a pile of crap. You know, there's so many others like that. It's weird. But to be honest, we didn't what? Yeah. I mean, they think that what they say matters, too, you know? I mean, I don't expect... Like, we just have conversations in here. And if people don't want to agree with anything, great. But these guys actually go out and they think they're going to sway this huge, massive group of people, and they never do. I mean, it's just Robert De Niro is so dumb, you know? Just an idiot. Yeah. They had a whole congregation on ground. I'm not sure what that means. I know, you mean the flat earthers, smiley? Yeah. Isn't that weird? It's crazy, isn't it? It's just the longest flat earth. You know what's weird about the flat earth theory? Is that you can literally walk in a straight line and then end up right where you started from at some point. But wouldn't it just keep going if it was flat? But instead, it runs into the same spot that you started from. Isn't that wild? But that's more like it's a sphere. Oh, I see. Yeah. Explain that one. What's their answer, the flat earthers, for that effect? That you could be walking through a tunnel, and then you can continue walking in a straight line and walk through the very same tunnel 24,000 miles later. Yeah, right. But if it's the flat earth, though, how do they do that without just sort of falling off? Is there like a conveyor belt that brings them back around, or what? How does that work? Right. Okay. Let's see. Why Candace doing with this? She's creating more. She's doing it for the Benjamins. Look at the views she's getting selling a conspiracy theory. Candace Owens has made, I would say, I'm going to guess, but easily over $100,000, but closer to $250,000 on just since Charlie Kirk has died. I mean, we're talking, she has 5 million views on some videos, and that would probably mean that she would make, you know, a good, you know, 20,000 on those videos. I would say probably like 125, something like that. And just think if I made that amount of money, that would be probably 40,000 to charity. I mean, maybe even more, because at that point it's just stupid. She gets 1 million views in under 3 hours. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, she'll have 195,000 people watching a live stream of just absolute gibberish garbage, complete nonsense. And if I get 600 people, wow, it's a miracle. All right, you guys, I'm going to get out of here. Let's see. Anyways, thank you guys so much for your generosity tonight. At a certain point, I didn't have to ask anymore. You guys were awesome. That was cool. So we start off with Christopher Marshburn, then Esther M., Vicky White. Let's see what we got over here. We did have Lisa Valenzuela and Esther M. on coffees. Oh, and then we had Eileen on Venmo. But other than that, we didn't have really anything, on the back, the back end, I guess you could call it. All right, then we got Grant, then Victoria H. gifted a membership, then Nate Campbell gifted one, then Wild Bill. Oh wait, let me before we do that, I was reading this thing here though. So listen to this, you guys. For the people who say the 30-06 can't, has to exit the neck and everything. So I said, this is one of those. Not that part. Where is it? Right here. Some conspiracy theorists think because there's no exit wound on the back of Charlie Kirk's neck, it has to be because some other way. I don't know. That's terrible English there. Because they claim that a bullet fired from a 30-06 rifle 100% has to go through the neck and then and that there is no other logical explanation. And then it said right here, I read this part here. It says factors that affect exit wounds: bullet construction, soft point or hollow point bullets expand dramatically, dump energy faster, and are less likely to exit than full metal jacket. Yaw and fragmentation. A bullet that turns sideways, yaws, or breaks up can behave unpredictably and stop sooner. Impact angle and path. A diagonal path through thick muscle and bone is much longer than a straight path, more chance of the bullet staying inside. It is an angle, but it's not a massive angle. Probably maybe extends it a half a centimeter, or maybe a centimeter. Intermediate barriers, clothing, mic, lanyards, even the table can affect deformation. The affidavit doesn't say what exact bullet type was in the 30-06, only that it had engraved messages. We don't know if they were full metal jacket, soft point, match rounds, etc. Without the ME's report, you cannot assume an exit wound. See how logical that is? And this isn't like ChatGPT doesn't just make something up. That's like from information. Why conspiracists grab this? They think big rifle, giant hole out the back. That's movie physics. This is him talking in bro mode. Real world shooting are messy. Even a small handgun round sometimes exits. Even a powerful rifle sometimes doesn't. The absence of an exit wound is not evidence of a bomb, drone, or mic gun. No exit wound. Here, we'll do the bro mode reading. Let's just go to here. And by the way, this guy, he showed up in there because he made a video. Matt, let's see, hold on. I forgot his last name. You should check him out, though. Matt, I've got it in my phone. Hold on. Kester. So Matt Kester, you go check out that site there. He makes a pretty cool little experiments, although, you know, this isn't going to win any awards with PETA here, you know. Let's see. Let me just play this.
Why conspiracists grab this? They think big rifle equal to giant hole out the back. That's movie physics, bro. Real-world shootings are messy. Even a small handgun round sometimes exits. Even a powerful rifle sometimes doesn't. The absence of an exit wound is not evidence of a bomb, drone, or mic gun. Bro mode verdict. No exit wound not equal to must be a conspiracy. It just means the bullet dumped its energy, hit bone, fragmented, or followed a weird path. Until the medical examiner releases the autopsy, there's literally no way to say 100% would exit. If you want to roast this myth on your show, you can literally show ballistic gel tests of 30 to 06 rounds stopping short in 10 to 12 inches of tissue when they yaw or expand. It's a perfect visual debunk. Want me to outline a quick on-camera explainer with visuals you can show to debunk the exit wound myth for your viewers?
Yeah. See, it knows that I'm a YouTuber. Now, let's see. All right. So, we got all these pictures here. I mean, you don't see that that's the same. Look at this. Look at this picture, and that person. You don't think those are the same person? You guys? This one, and this one? Because Candace might say, well, that one might be him. Well, really? So 20 seconds later when he's walking through the tunnel, it's not him now? Because he turns right and goes up the stairs right after that? That's not him then? Right. Hey, thanks. A-bone of my own. Hey, are you trying to be Andrew Dice Clay? Jack and Jill went up the hill, each with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Ooh. Yeah, anyways. Let's see. Yeah, he made an AI twin. All right, so we got Victoria H in there, Nate Campbell, Wild Bill Wassman, and Lisa Lynn, Julie Ann, then Vicky White gifted a membership, Allie Cake gifted a membership, Walker Homestead, 53 months, then Patty Jensen, then Fitz with a generous super chat there, then CR gifted 5 memberships, then Steph S gifted 1, then Afa David, generous super chat there, and then Wild Bill Wassman gifted 1, Christine gifted 5, then CR gifted another 5, then Anakin 93, then CR again, then Michelle H, Chris Stew, then Allie Cake, then Shannon, then Cece, then then actually Cece gifted, Shannon gifted 5, and then Cece gifted 10, which is basically a cat eye donation. And then, so thank you so much for that. And then C Daly gifted 1, then Anakin gifted 1, and then Rockin' F and Roll gifted 5, and then I gifted 5, and then Rockin' F and Roll super chat, then Aaron Brenner gifted 1, then Ashley Ferris, then CC, then Rockin' F and Roll, and Rockin' F and Roll gifted 10 memberships, which is a cat eye donation. Then Richard Britton, and thank you, gifted 5, so that's another 15 right there. And then CC, and then I Love Jesus did a cat eye donation. Great, thanks so very much for the notebook. And then Rome, and then Barbara Hall gifted 5. Then Rockin' F and Roll super chat. Then Mason Windu. Then Moxis, something like that. And then Dina Caddy did a cat eye donation. Keep up the great work. Thank you for being a factual, sane person. And then Moxis said, I genuinely want your insight into, I guess I missed the first, why they start this roof footage. Yeah, they just didn't release it because it's kind of a long footage, right? So they're just showing the part where he's running away. You'd think they could have added another 20 seconds where he stood up, but they want to save that for trial. And then Carrie Summers, generous super chat, Michelle Estopinal, and Moxis again. And then he said, Well, he would have to stand up. Yeah, it's so far away though you wouldn't be able to see very well what he was doing. Treasure X, then Carrie Summers gifted 5. Thank you so much. Then Grant, new member. Then Rockin' F and Roll. Then Grant. Then Rockin' F and Roll again. Rockin' F and Roll again. And then by Heidi K. And then Dawn DeSalt right there. All right. Well, thanks, you guys. That was very, very generous of you guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow night is our donation night. And we do one last push for an hour. And then we start sending off the thousands of dollars. Hopefully we can send out another 3. Get us up to 5,000 for the month. That'd be pretty good. This is also my tax month, where, you know, almost the entire month goes to the quarterly taxes, which kind of sucks, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I think it's Crime Dissecta. I don't think Receptor's in there, Bruce. I don't think Receptor. Maybe I don't remember. Crime Dissecta. Thug Rejecta. I'm a thug rejecta. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretch ya if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime Secta. And by the way, this was written by a freak years and years ago. Crime Secta is my nectar. And I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specter with a vector. Now that I think about it, man, that's pretty crazy. The lyrics in there. Yeah, so there you go. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specter with a vector. On his pector, meaning like your pectoral, you know, with, let's see, on his pector, with all respect, y'all. Just remember something deflect you. I can't even remember. Shit. It's got to be playing. But anyways, thanks for being here, you guys. Appreciate it. If you want a place to go where when I'm covering cases, you'll get to see the reality, not some made-up story to, you know, oh, I love a good conspiracy. How come? They're not real, you know? All right. Anyways, thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Here we go. Yeah, I've been doing this quite a while now. Well, during this whole time, I have not been... Let's try it again. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a...
The whole time?
Crime dissector. Certified human lie. Gonna get on a stretch. Me like an old projector. Crime is my neck. Okay, hold on. I'm not sure what's going on. It looks like it has a bad connection to the hard drive. I'll just start over again. See if it works. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, thug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grayl's gonna give another lecture. I'm cold, and I'm always gonna be a puppet deflector. Intercept, I'm meaner than a specter with a vector. You know what? I don't know. Maybe let me check something out. Maybe I can play it just randomly. I wonder if that drive is being used by something. Hold on a second. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. I just gotta check to see where this is. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a... There it is.
Crime dissector.
OBS Studio rap dance.
I'm a certified human lie
OBS Studio
detector.
rap dance.
Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar.
All right, here we go.
Professor Gray is
I'm gonna play it just off the file and see if it still has a problem. So let's see, F, and then OBS Studio. OBS Studio, right? OBS Studio. Rack. All right, this could be it right here. Let's see if this plays. Here we go. Well, maybe that's probably taking up a lot of space there. I have it right here though. We'll play it on the main monitor here. All right, hold on. Come on. Wow. That's crazy. It's not opening up. Probably need to reboot at some point here. All right, let's try with this software here. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specker with a vector.
Oh man, I think there's like some like RAM issue or something. Something's taking up too much space. Maybe tomorrow, you guys. Maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna have to reboot here, but thanks everybody for being here tonight. It's a really cool song, but we'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.